into the moment, oh, 'cause in a moment it will be gone. It's the letting go of what you can't control anymore. Awaken to the presence, oh, the only place you can do no wrong. There's nothing else, so forgive yourself and know that you are born in this moment, oh. Cluttered thoughts in your head about events that have not happened yet. Wanna turn the whole thing off, oh. Stop the movie and break the reel. Start all over and make a new deal. Well, maybe you've had enough, oh. And you're never really here when all of your fears keep you tangled and alone. Well, surrender to the moment, 'cause in a moment it will be gone. It's letting go of what you can't control anymore. Awaken to the presence, the only place you can do no wrong. There's nothing else, so forgive yourself and know that you are born in this moment. Yeah, yeah. You are born in this moment. Moment, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, surrender to the moment, yeah, yeah. 'Cause in a moment it will be gone. It's the letting go what you can't control anymore. So forgive yourself and know you are born in this moment. You are born, you are born in this moment. Yeah, yes you are.
Laura Berman, there she is. All the way from Portland, Oregon.
Good morning. Living large in a tiny square, broken pieces seem to lead nowhere. Why do I feel that my life is just pretend? Yeah. All my dreams. Hey, it's live music and we're live streaming. Can we start over? I live stream. What? That was bold.
Count me in.
One.
I had more coffee than you did.
Oh,
so.
I'm decaffeinated. I'm totally decaffeinated.
See, that's what
I'm
happened.
Gonna crash later. It's
yeah,
gonna be
and
awful.
I'm Aries with all the caffeine. Give it on, give it on, give it on.
2, 3. Yeah. Oh, girl, come on in.
West Coast meets East Coast. There you go. Yeah.
large in a tiny square. Broken pieces seem to lead nowhere. Why do I feel my life is just pretend? All my dreams staying way too small. They lead me back to where I started from. How can I move when I fear what lies ahead? There's more than what I see. Each step brings me closer to free. Yeah. I realize it's all inside of me. I realize there are no walls in between you and me and this holy word. You and me and this holy word. And I realize now, yeah. And with each new day I see my life getting bigger with less denying. It's my choice now to leave or just give it. And every morning I give thanks, amen, to all the growth I've experienced. And I have become a dream that's worth believing I am. There's more than what I see, there's more. Each step brings me closer to me. Yes, I realize it's all inside of me. I realize there are no walls in between you and me. Yes, holy word. No walls in between you and me. Yes, holy word. Well, it's a long road, but one I choose to travel through this lifetime. And I'm learning what not to do. Believe me. Well, there's more than what you see. Yeah. I realize it's all inside of me. Yeah. I realize there are no walls in between. I realize it's all inside of me. Oh, you are inside of me. Oh, there are no walls in between you and me and this holy word. No walls in between you and me, God, and this holy word. There are no walls in between you and me and this holy word. I realize there are no walls between you and me and this holy word. There are no walls between you and me and this holy word. Sing with us. There are no walls between you and me and this holy word.
That's how it's done out in Portland, Oregon. Welcome to Atlanta, Laura Berman. Good morning. Welcome. Join.
I am grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we made, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful, so grateful for this day, for the love
morning. You may be seated. Wow. There are probably well over 22 or 23 of our practitioners in Banning Mills, Georgia. Anybody ever been to Banning Mills where they have the zip lines? It's amazing. It's like it's touted as being the world's largest collection of zip lines. So we're all in our spiritual mode and we're meditating and we're but they are wrapping up their gathering today along with the Circle of Love conference up there, and it was just a really wonderful experience. But I got a text, a really early text from the anniversary ferry this morning that said, please remember, it wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
Boom, boom. Imran, boom, boom. But it was to remind me that today, last week was my 5th year anniversary, but today would then be Penelope's 5th year anniversary.
Thank you so much, Fuji. Yeah, right. The
So
band's a bunch of wise guys.
I tried to find a flower that was indicative of you, standing tall, fiery red with passion.
That's it. That's it. That is
And I
me
couldn't
to
find
a
any,
T.
so but these are for you. Happy
Thank
anniversary.
you, David.
Yay.
Thank you so much. I know. My teacher, my mentor, my friend. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you, growing as we do every day, every week, in this community, this family, Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. I love being here, and thank you for the
So
for the
much
honor.
so, she was at the retreat, and she left like at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
to get here for first service. So look at her.
Yes, indeed.
What a trooper. And everybody's a trooper. We have the most amazing staff, and here's Mr. Zippity Doodah himself, David Aurelio.
Well, you can take Disney out of the boy. You can't take the boy out of Disney. Can you? Good morning. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to move this over. Welcome to the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. For those of you that are joining us for the very first time, we are a center that recognizes everyone on their spiritual path. And we know we're a place of great inspiration, thus allowing you to tap into your inherent greatness and to live the life you love. And it's almost October. I can't believe it. But the leaves are changing, the weather's getting nicer, and I can't believe you ziplined in the rain, but good for you. But that was something, it is getting time for fall, lots of stuff happening into next month. We're just gonna round out this month, so there's a couple quick things I just wanna draw to your attention for today, the last Sunday of the month. Those of you that attended last Sunday to our annual town hall meeting, thank you so much. And I sent each of you a link. If you're on our list that gets the newsletter, you should have received an email from the Board of Trustees that outlined the meeting and what was discussed, and also had a link so you could actually watch the entire meeting. So I hope you guys took the chance to do that, because there's lots of information about some upcoming changes, about some things that we need to focus on, and some stuff as we project into 2016. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Lee Valentine to give you a little bit more about that. Lee.
Thank you, David. So for any of you who were at the town hall meeting last Sunday, you heard one of my colleagues on the Board of Trustees, Vera Carter, introduce our 2016 pledge campaign. So if you were here last Sunday, for the next minute and a half, you can take your phone out, check your text messages, update your Facebook status, because you will have heard what I'm about to say to the rest of you. And that is, I want to introduce our 2016 pledge campaign. And for those of you who perhaps have only attended the center for a few months or less than a year, you may not be familiar with the concept of a pledger. But those of us who are pledgers, we have this little card that we place into the offering plate each Sunday. You might have thought that, gosh, is that an IOU or get out of jail free card? No, it is a card signifying the fact that while we are not placing, physically or literally placing our contribution into the plate each Sunday, we have committed to contributing a certain amount of money to SLCA each month. And the first thing I want to say is, for those of you who are pledgers, or if you just contribute by putting your contribution, your donation into the plate each week, we are eternally grateful to you, to your contributions, because it is your contributions that allow us to accomplish our mission. And the reason why pledges are so important is because it allows us to reliably predict what our income stream is going to be each month. Because the Board of Trustees, along with David and their staff, one thing we do on an annual cycle is we create a budget for the next year. And that budget will determine the programs, the classes we offer, and what we can support based on the level of income that we anticipate. So if you can set an intention to contribute a specific amount of money to SLC each month, that will give us the ability, like I said, to reliably predict what that income stream is going to be, and then determine what our programs are going to be to support that level. So at each one of the doors, as well as in the lobby, there is a sheet that looks like this. It explains everything about our pledge campaign, what it is, why we do it, the benefits to you. There are some perks for different levels, from a supporter level all the way up to platinum level. You get free classes, free workshops, free books, those types of things. So there's something in it for you. But hopefully what's in it for you is to know that you are making an investment in the growth of SLCA as a community, in your personal growth. And David has a little thermometer out there in the lobby that's going to track our progress. And you can see we're not starting from scratch. We already have about $45,000 a month in pledges, which, like I said, we are very grateful for. But what I would ask you is to determine if you are currently a pledger, can you set an intention to increase your pledge by perhaps 10%, maybe go up to the next level. If you're not currently a pledger, if you could perhaps set the intention to transfer your weekly plate donation into a pledge, we would be certainly grateful. And if you have any questions about the pledge campaign, feel free to see me after the service. I will be standing outside with our version of the Pope after second service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
I am not kissing your ring. I will not do it. I will not kiss that ring. I will not do it. Anyways, just another quick notes, a few notes about the pledging. The goal, as you'll see on the thermometer out there, the goal is $50,000 a month, and we're at 45. We started at 50 at the beginning of the year, and unfortunately, with people who move away, because life happens. So people move out of town, they go to different centers, they do other things. So what happens is we went down to about 44. So we got to get back up to 50, and knowing that life happens continually in 2016, it'll be nice to go above 50 so that we know that attrition, if it happens, we can stay at the current level. So 50,000 is the goal. We'll be taking that all the way till the end of the year. But again, we're hoping to make our goal by Anniversary Sunday. So let's make that intention. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lee. Laura Berman, you heard her sing before. Isn't she beautiful? She is, telling ya. That CD gets me through every day in that car. I love it, love it, love it. I love that you're here in person. And not only is she a gifted and talented artist, but she's also an amazing speaker as well. So she's going to be gifting us with a workshop this afternoon called Judaism, the New Thought and Oneness Connection. And it's love offering, and she invites you all to attend. It'll be in this room after the second service, approximately 1:15ish, so it depends on what time we finish. But if you, I know a lot of folks are coming back from first service, so if you need to dash out quickly or tell people you're going to stay because you don't want to miss it. So we'll join Laura for that. Gay Pride signups, if you are interested in participating in the booth this year, is again, we are doing a big booth with lots of stuff. There's, lots of great things that they've planned. So please sign up the sign-up sheets in the portico as you exit the building. You can then sign up for your participation time slot, so you can see exactly when you want to do. And again, you do not need to be gay to participate in Gay Pride. It's just, we love everybody. So please join us. Get involved in ushers and greeters. If you are interested in being an usher or a greeter, we are looking for both. So these beautiful folks that you see that are in there all the time, you'll see Carrie about being an usher, and then Gloria's out in the lobby, and those are the folks that greet you as you walk in the door, smiling faces. So if you'd like to be a greeter, we're looking for both of those as well. Wise Women, you're meeting today after the second service, so if you are interested in that, if you'd like to join it, that's for ladies only. Wise as they are, wise women, join them. And are there anyone joining us for the very first time today? If you could raise your hand. If you could stand on up, we'd love to welcome you officially. Give you a round of applause. What you are receiving is a gift from us. That is a CD case that you can take to our welcome and visitors table and redeem that for one of Reverend Dr. David Ault's talks, especially selected for you. Thank you for joining us today. We have new member orientation next Sunday, October the 4th. Can't believe it's October. And we'll be doing that, so any of your questions about becoming a member or just about SLCA in general, we'd love to answer them. Thanks so much. Have a great day and a blessed week.
Thank you, David. If you would take your program and stand with me. On the inside is called our Declaration of Principle. You know, it dawned on me last Sunday after my 5th year anniversary. I had been saying this every week now for 5 years. Many of you have been saying it longer than I. And one of the things that happens is that sometimes we go into sort of rote mode and we maybe disconnect from the words. And so I want to invite you today to reacquaint yourself with the power that is held within these 5 sentences. So that means that as we say it, as we read it together, I want you to speak it from that place of just deep sincerity and reverence and sacredness as we emit this amazing vibration from these powerful words. I believe in one God, one absolute power and first cause to all things. I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love. I believe that all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience. I believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all. Beautiful. Our song this month is on the handout inside. It's called I Am Healed by Karen Drucker.
Up from my feet, I call the healing power. Up from my feet, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from my feet, I know that I am healed. In through my hands, into my hands, I call the healing power. In through my hands, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. In through my hands, I know that I am healed. Up from the earth, up from the earth, I call the healing power. Up from the earth, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from the earth, I know that I am healed. Back to the earth, back to the earth, I send the healing power. Back to the earth, I send it from my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Back to the earth, I know that I am healed. I am healed. I am healed.
Please turn to those around you and say good morning and welcome to SLCA. All right, everybody get a date? Yeah, good deal. You know what's so wonderful is that energy can be channeled and directed in any way, and so the magnificent energy that always bubbles up in that moment, you get to draw it in now. As you draw it in and as we prepare for our contemplative time, I want to extend an invitation to you, and that is to take everything off of your lap and to even perhaps uncross your legs and arms and to simply open up your body posture and begin to take some amazing, deep, cleansing breaths. And as we set the tone and the intention, we are beautifully led this morning in our affirmative prayer by Sanichi Nana.
Thank you, David. And I'm going to say it the way we say it back home, Morning to all ayo. Good morning, everyone. And it is just such a beautiful sight to stand in this room and to see the many ways in which the love of God appears. And that's the view that I have. And in this moment of oneness, let go of everything else and just open up your heart. Open up your heart and know that we are all one. God is all that there is. Everything I see, everything I am, my mind, it is all God. There is no way in which I can be separated from God. We are as one as the white caps on the ocean waves, forever together, forever and ever. And anything else is an illusion. My separation is not real. And so I can call myself back to this moment where I breathe, and that is my manifestation of my connection to God, my breath. Knowing this, I can just relax and revel in the flow of life, knowing that it forever supports me. It meets all of my needs. It offers me the wonderful lessons, showing me that life is for me, and it is all there with the intention that I set and with the openness that I bring to the situation so that I can receive. It is all good. It is always good. And it is good and very good. And I am reminded that in this oneness, no walls can come up. Walls have come down just from the love that is there. And we continue to pour the love and to be the love and to bring the love and to bring the healing. We are so powerful, in fact, that our mere presence can bring healing. And knowing this, I have no worries, because I know that in every moment, all is well. All is exactly how it is supposed to be. And I relax in that confidence, and I have the faith knowing that every experience is the right experience, because I call it to myself, knowing that it opens me up for expansion and for deeper experiences of the love and the harmony and the peace and the joy and the prosperity and all the blessings of life. I know that this is so. And knowing this, I release it into the Lord, because it comes back to me abundantly multiplied beyond my wildest imagination. And we all affirm this together, and so it is.
With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every
So it is. What a beautiful prayer. Sunichi Nana, you are so, so beautiful. Your spirit. She is director of our creative arts ministry, or director of our dance ministry. What a privilege it is to be with you and to work with you and to experience your direction. I love that. You know, she's directed our dance to support our opening song, Grateful. And I see something now unfolding for With Every Prayer. It's very beautiful. Our performing artist also and inspirational music this morning is Laura Berman from Portland, Oregon. We're so glad you are here with us. She has so many gifts she'll be sharing out in an afternoon workshop, as you heard, but also this beautiful music that she has shared with her husband, Craig Benelli, and they write all of their music, and this next song is written by Craig and Laura.
I've always put up my fences and held my defenses in front of me. Not knowing my heart was imprisoned till you gave me wisdom to find the key. I'm ready to begin. I'm open and love's coming in when you move through me. When you move through me, you give me the confidence to take back my innocence through me. Ooh, oh, through me. Now I've always lived in delusion, trapped in illusion of doubt and fear, and not knowing that change would come my way till I drove the highway free and clear from all my regrets. I'm open to what's coming next when you move through me. When you move through me, you give me the confidence to take back my innocence through me. I am tired of all my excuses. Tired. And I close my eyes, and one thing I know is true. There's nothing I can't do.
You have a website, right? What is it? laurabermanmusic.com. The reason why I want to say that is that the moment that Robert hits the recording, that's when the audio portion gets loaded up. And statistics are showing that we are spiking it close to somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000 downloads a month. So they didn't get to see you do that or hear you do that, but I'm going to use Laura as an example. May I? Yes. You said that so quickly. You're so willing. I know it. So I think you can tell we love you. I know I love you. The last time you were here, I buy usually every artist's CD, but I bought yours, and then I was so frustrated because I was trying to rip the plastic in the car because I wanted to immediately put it in, right? And it was struggling. And so I would imagine, if I were in your beautiful black shoes, that it feels really good because I think that you are sensitive enough and aware enough to be able to feel that kind of adulation and that kind of respect and honoring of your gift. Now, what if you went somewhere next week and they didn't know you, and let's say the guy in charge has this thing about the name Laura because some Laura rejected him in college, and so, he's just already has a chip on his shoulder, and you're not treated so much. And I would venture to say that as an artist, or now it applies to everybody, if you don't have a sense of self with regards to who you are and what your gift is, that then one can set upon a course of flip-flopping and uncertainty and second-guessing, so much so that it would begin to shroud and cover the gift that you are. Anybody been there? So we love it when we're loved, and we don't love it when we're not loved. What's up with that, right? And so we get to look at the fact that one then is not right and one isn't wrong. It's an opportunity. Don't you love that word? It's an opportunity. Today's talk is titled Individuality. And if you were to take that word and you were to break it down into its Latin roots, the in part means not. Individuality is divided, not divided. So individuality, then, the real essence of that word is a description of your and my relationship to all of that. The relationship to source, the relationship to the immeasurable vastness of a limitless creation. That's what you and I are. And it's as if there is this unsevering connectivity that takes my individuality, the undivided nature of me, the microcosm of me, and I am completely and totally absorbed in the macrocosm. And I think we do really well in remembering that when everybody's saying, "Oh my God, you're so fantastic." Do you remember that when you are in heated exchanges or in territories where that receptivity doesn't exist? And then what would be the goal? The goal of us as this undivided nature of the all is to be able to take that and to let the undivided nature, that which cannot be severed, be supported and maintained. And you start to become aware of the fact that wholeness then, or unity, is not something, you can't have two unities. You can't have two wholenesses. Laura can't be one thing here and then be something else at another place or another venue where she's singing. Her opportunity as a vessel of this artistry is to know that without a shadow of a doubt, wherever she may be. Your requirement, if you will, is to know your individuality, the individuated nature, that which cannot be divided, wherever you might be, in whatever level of conversation or circumstance that you find ourselves. And that becomes, we like to say, our soul's assignment. That's the part of us that gets strengthened over and over and over again to the degree of our willingness, our recognition, and our personal awareness. So in the back of the Science of Mind, the seminal textbook written by the founder Ernest Holmes, he said that the word individuality was this, that it's the real idea of humankind. And the word real is capitalized with a big R. The real idea, not the marginal idea or the sometime idea, but the real idea of humankind as distinguished from the outer personality. You see, personality then, the word persona, then is the way in which we personalize, individuate the individuality. In other words, we take that which is the macrocosm and then we bring our brand and our flavor to it. And a lot of times what happens is we get mixed up between what is individuality and what is personality. He goes on to say that our personality is the use that you and I make of our divine individuality. So sometimes we are attracted to personality, right? The effervescence, the charisma, and we like that, and we think that they are that thing. But that thing is just a vibrational field of their individuality. And so if I praise the personality, it's a part of my personality that is recognizing and attracted to that and in alignment with that. When I go, wow, their personality sucks. There is a part of my personality that sucketh, that is then attracted to that. And the only reason that I can make that assessment is because all that I'm doing is I'm looking at the reciprocal action of that energy which is being reflected back to me. And what we end up doing is spending the majority of our life focused on personality rather than individuality. Ernest goes on to say later in the book that we often think that what we really require, what's going to fix it all, is money, friends, physical healing. But he says they are effects of a right relationship to life. All people need some form of healing. Most people are unhappy, except here. Few have any realization of permanent peace. And he says what we end up doing is we seek fragments. We seek fragments when the whole is at hand. And boy, isn't that the truth? I've seen so many people come and go in my life that just want just enough to make the pain bearable, and then they're gone again. Rather than landing in a sacred place and being totally committed to unsevering, unblocking anything that gets in the way of shielding my individuality. And I go upon a path of coursework, or I go upon a path of intention where my willingness overrides my resistance. So he says most people seek fragments when the whole is at hand. How illogical it is to think that anything can rise higher than its source. The universe is a perfect, undivided whole, and healing can take place only when one is unified with it. How can anyone, he says, then be healed in part? Let us seek wholeness above all else. Let us seek wholeness above all else. That's the thing behind the thing. When I have the desire, and we talk a lot about the inner desire, that propulsion, and how beautiful that is. And how we are to honor those desires that is within us, because that's a part of the evolution of the soul, to go from here to here. And the thing that brings me there is the desire. And we said desire is almost like the seed planted in the heart by God. The desire is the seed planted in the heart by God. And so we honor those desires. But you see, we sabotage those desires when we live from personality. Because the personality is the thing that says, oh my God, that girl can sing. I can't sing like her. I might as well not even try. When in actuality, the way in which you will emit your talent will be the way in which you emit your talent. The way in which you express, the way in which you create, the way in which you show up in the world, your brand of being is more than personality. It is your vessel of willingness to express the individuality of that which is the micro to the macro.
And that's my job. My job not only to remember that, but my job to show up constantly to be able to do that. And you see, we live in a world of paradox because everything is paradox. And I love it when I can begin to recognize that. I love it when I can go back and look at Scripture and I can read the story or the narrative about Lucifer. Who was Lucifer? The fallen angel, right? And why was Lucifer the fallen angel? Because he began to get into comparison. He began to be a little bit greedy with regards to his need for attention. He began to see as though his space was being invaded by others, and there was this dualistic energy and effervescence that was bubbling up inside of him. That's a narrative. There's also the narrative about Jesus the Christ when they said that he had every single temptation that you and I had. And it wasn't that some outside demon came and said, ha, 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 ha. But that it was the internal mind going, maybe I am all of that in a bag of chips. Maybe I should do a little more something with this power. Maybe I should be a little more flashy with that. All the things that our egoic mind takes us to in those places where we're trying to sort all of this out and find our position in the world based on personality. They say that Jesus the Christ, the narrative of that said that he went internally and decided how to choose and to gravitate back to the individuality instead of letting that parlay into his personality. And so guess what? All narratives are in us. All narratives are in us. And it behooves me to be the inner inquirer to go, which narrative am I living from? Which paradox am I giving myself to? And you start to see that most of the time, that distinction between the outer skin of personality is shielding us or deluding us from recognizing the individuality. And so we go upon a quest of being able to strip away the false narratives that do not serve us. One of the ways that we do this is through the thing called idolatry. Idolatry equals dualism. If I make an idol out of someone, what am I doing? I'm saying that they are what? Better than me. I'm saying that their gifts somehow supersede me. To make an idol of something is to worship it in an energy of separatism. And we create idols all the time. One of the beautiful narratives in the Holy Scripture was about not creating idols. And yet we do that all the time. We do that particularly when we look at something and we create this standard of comparison. This brings me back to the beautiful wisdom of Don Miguel Ruiz. How many of you have read the 4 Agreements? There's a deeper dive to those 4 agreements, particularly the one about do not take anything personally. Look at that last word, personally. Root persona, talking about the personality. Do not take anything from the level of the surface personality. And what Don Miguel Ruiz made in that wonderful book was the idea whether we label it good or bad. So if I go back and I pick on Laura again, Laura has the opportunity to go, wow, that feels really good. Or, wow, okay, as she's processing all of that information. And the thing within us, is the opportunity is then the individuality of us. We can just let all of it go in and go out. Because how many of us start to believe our press? In the Shabbat, the Sabbath, that which represents rest, we are, every time we do that, we automatically go back to the unsevered connection of the individuality. So instead of, relying and believing your press, believe your rest. And realize that that's the thing that's the truth for us. But we get so seduced, don't we? In the idolatries of the world, we make idols out of everything. Idols out of everything. And so when we start to not take anything personally, it isn't that we can't be pleasant and say, thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much. But if I were to attach my worth on that, then the next time I show up and I don't get that, where's my worth? You get the point, right? So we just show up. I watch the Pope and I can't help but see that just oozing out of him. That sense of individuality and connectedness, that he can go into any circumstance, any conversation, and his value as a human being isn't based upon whether someone loves him or not. We take fragments when we could have the whole. When I was thinking about idolatry, I remember years ago being fascinated by Rita Hayworth. Remember the actress Rita Hayworth? And I read this piece where somebody had interviewed her a long, long time ago. And she was talking about how unhappy she was. Because after World War II, when she craved love just like everybody else, she couldn't find a man who could separate or distinguish her from Gilda, the movie, where she was this beautiful femme fatale. And that every man, when they met her or encountered her and she would give her heart to them, they kept wanting Gilda in return. You know, and she had flaws just like everybody else. She had the human and the spirit combined. But oh my God, dare that micro come up when all they wanted was the macro. And they didn't know how to handle that. And she didn't know how to handle that. Because her worth was where? Based upon what people would say. So it got me to thinking. There's a friend of mine, I'm not going to say his name because he may listen, but he has a gift. He has a really amazing gift, and his gift is channeling. There's a lot of people who profess to be channelers, right? But this guy, he's pretty amazing. And he didn't go out to seek this. It's just something over many years that evolved. But when I'm in his presence and he does this, I feel personally, it's my opinion, that it's incredibly genuine and authentic. And the vibration of it is very loving, and it's just really powerful. He says that it's Archangel Michael, but he says it's not Michael as a soul entity. It's the realm or the energy of that. And so, you know, he's this guy, and he loves the ladies. And when he has an opportunity to do this gift, and there are women in the audience, the women fall in love with the energy of the information that's being emanated out. And they just go after him like nobody's business. You know, and yet he struggles to pay his bills. He struggles with ageism. You know, he's a rock and roll photographer, and so he's always, you know, looking at, am I too old for this and that and the other. It's filled with self-doubt, and yet he has this gift. And so he will be attracted and meet up with someone, but it doesn't last. Because they want what? They want that soul energy of what it is that they experience in the moment when he's expressing that gift. And so when the other part of him shows up, they're like, ugh, you know? Or they go, you're not who you say you are. It's idolatry. Idolatry. I see it all the time. I experience it all the time. Maybe you do too. So I was thinking of this. I was thinking about Rita Hayworth. I was thinking about my friend. And you know the word inflation? When something is inflated, what is it? It's overblown, right? It's out of proportion. And so what happens is this human vessel, think about the tangibility of the body and the skin and the surface. This human vessel can only take so much inflation. This human body can only take so much life based on personality. And I looked at Rita Hayworth and I went, wow, she started Alzheimer's really young. Almost as if this is too painful. This human body can only take so much inflation. And so when I consider those things, I think about that Latin phrase that says, laudas me culpant me, laudas me culpant me. You praise me, then you blame me. And what that requires of us, the invitation, the sacred invitation, is individuality. The undivided nature, the necessity of me, the necessity of you as a sentient being, come down into this world to do what? To be as much of that, to be that vessel, to be that extension, to be that clarity, so that even in the midst of accusation, I can be like Jesus the Christ, and I can say, I am who you say that I am. And at the same time, I can stand my ground deeply rooted, understanding and realizing and knowing the awareness of the gift that is there. And so the whole thing around not taking anything personally, it's not about, oh, let it go, girl. Oh, man, shake it off. Shake it off. I mean, that's lovely, but it's so much deeper than that. Right? To not take anything. Look at the meaning behind take. That's as if I go and when you speak your words, I take them and I do what with them? I draw them into my heart as if they are real. When someone makes an accusation, it's as if you take it personally. You take it and you personify it. When in my individuality, I do what? I stand and it deflects. I don't take it. And so I invite you to close your eyes this morning and take a deep breath. There is an incessant invitation. This invitation is the calling that pulls and beckons us on what is a journey of a spiritual homecoming. It is depicted in the parable of the prodigal son. The prodigal son goes to what is called the far country. The far country is simply unconsciousness. And so in this moment, we pay attention to the invitation. And the invitation beckons us to come home. Home being the state of that individuality, the solidity that cannot be moved. Perhaps it's the meaning behind that old gospel song, Blessed Assurance. That assurance of my individuality is blessed. And so we stand today in this invitation, individually and collectively. The beautiful thing is that when we have clarity, we realize that nothing up until this moment matters. It does not define us, our past, our history. What we are is the way in which we stand connected to that which is the all. And so imagine if you have a visual nature that there is this beautiful lighted cord that exists within your solar plexus and it rises through your body. It rises through your body as if it goes all the way to the crown and then it bursts out of the top of your head. Because this cord cannot be contained, it cannot be cut off or severed. And so it goes through the physical nature of the roof of the building. It goes into the darkened sky outside, and it just continues to travel into the eternality of the all. And when nothing pinches that off, when no separate separated thought that says I can't or I'm not pinches that off, then I am being fed the nutrient that runs through the stem, just like the nutrient within the flower stem that feeds the petals. That nutrient is feeding me and delivering to me every single thing that I need. And so in this moment, I see that cord and I allow myself to be fed. That feeding looks like clarity to confusion. That feeding looks like a calm over a long-standing worry. That feeding is realizing that I can forgive myself. Because whatever grievance that I hug to me is something that so desperately wants to be released from my arms. And so I release it from my arms and I open my arms and I allow that to feed me, that which is the all. And to say, you cannot be severed from me. Thank you. Thank you for waking up. Thank you for allowing. Thank you for standing in your integrity and for owning the genius and the beauty of who and what you are. And if that speaks to you, then I invite you now to just breathe. To breathe and let that cord just feed you. Knowing that every desire is already answered. Every solution already exists. That who and what you are is so vital and necessary that we all now can stand unwavering in the love of self and the love of each other. If you align with me in the acceptance of this, then as you breathe again, I simply invite you now to express that belief by anchoring and saying with me, and so it is. Is Christine here? Christine Job here? There she is. We have the most awesome, look, throwing personality at you. Have the most awesome, you're taking it. Young adults, 20s, 30s. We love you.
We love you.
We love you. And I just am so grateful for your collective and individual consciousness. And I know you have some big ideas that you want to share with people.
Thank you, Rev. We appreciate your support very much. And of course, your message is always so right on time. It always feels like you're calling me out. And I'm just like, I know. And I'm like, can you pull me to the side afterwards? I'm so grateful for this teaching and for this philosophy. By a show of hands, how many of you wish you knew this philosophy, this teaching, when you were younger, 5 years younger, 10 years younger? Okay, yeah, okay. How many of you had a vision, a dream, a calling that was placed on your heart when you were younger, but you didn't really follow it because it wasn't what you should be doing? Anyone relate to that at all? Oh, okay, it's cool. And then how many of you guys know any millennials? A millennial would look something like this, like me, with these like funky glasses, but these are prescription, so this is legit right here. So I'll tell you a brief story about how this teaching has really affected me as a millennial. In 2011, I was visiting Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta, but I was visiting from Miami. I was attending law school in Miami, and at that time, a cosmic download came to me. And, of course, completely ignored it. I was like, no, this is crazy. This is nuts. And that download was for a festival called Seeker Fest. And because I was in my own kind of social programming, I was like, I'm a law student. I can't be producing hippy-dippy music festivals. So I let that go for about 4 years. And then in 2013, a cosmic 2x4 helped me along. I was in Miami. I just graduated from law school, had a pretty kick-ass job, but I had an unexpected death in my family, and I came back to Atlanta, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't really want to come back to Atlanta. I wanted to do something else. And all I knew was that I needed to come to SLCA. That was the divine urge. I needed to come back. After I came back, I found out about our fledgling then, young adult group, and I met with Ryan and Dana, and it was the three of us, and we were like, this is great, we're gonna do something with this. Through that, and I took a class with a Reverend Dr. Pat Farmer, I started to give myself the space and the permission to really be a vessel, to really give my desires and my dreams kind of a chance. So through those teachings and the classes, and Reverend David Ault, who was so awesome and so supportive, it really allowed me to kind of put this teaching in action. It's one thing to intellectualize it, it's another thing to actually live it. And so last year I actually started the long road of producing a music festival. I mean, what? I'm a lawyer, that makes no sense, but I did, and it's happening. Saturday, October 24th. You guys should all come. It's an amazing festival that celebrates the convergence of spirituality, philosophy, religion, and science into universal truths. It creates space for young people and all people to educate themselves, explore, to have individual discernment, to elevate their consciousness, to elevate the global conversation, what's going on in our world, to take accountability about what's happening in our world, because we are all citizens not only of Atlanta, but the entire world, and whatever happens in Syria or Iraq or Pakistan or in London or France happens to all of us, and that's what that's all about. And it would not have come to be if I hadn't come back to Atlanta and I hadn't had this teaching to support me and to guide me and to want me to be my most authentic self. That is real. This is real. So I want to give so much gratitude to you all as a community for supporting SLCA. I want to give you so much gratitude as a community for supporting Kinetic Ascent. We are doing major things. Going to California next month to link up with other young adult groups so that we can amplify this message across the country, across the world. So when you're in your grateful giving, as we're about to do, it's not even just about your own enjoyment and then your own pleasure and your own fulfillment you get. It's really about supporting a community. It's really about changing our community here in Atlanta, because it ripples out. It affects me. It affects other young adults. We are doing major things. We are the change we want to see in the world. So when you do this grateful giving, please say it with me with that intention. It's so much bigger than you. It's so much bigger than me. It is really about this world. It's about all of us. All right, enough of that. Okay, all together now. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Thank you.
Christine Job and Seeker Fest. Yeah, please welcome Laura Berman.
Dotted all of your I's and crossed your T's. And while you wait for your reward, time is slipping out the door, and you wonder why you can't find the key. And you want the riches to unfurl, but you close your eyes to what's needed in the world instead of living in the get. Try and give to where you're fed, and the sunshine will part away the clouds. Turn your life around. Yeah. What if I were here to say there can be a better way, but it just might shatter your beliefs. Like you can't have it all, and it's okay to be small. Is that really how you want to be? You think there's a man up in the sky who takes delight by your sacrifice. But what if you are wrong and you can sing a different song? Don't wait till you're 6 feet in the ground to turn your life around. Oh, yeah. Turn your life around. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just saying, maybe there's a bigger idea in store for the ones who discover that they might be the missing piece, the one that the world is waiting for. Turn your life around. Oh, yeah. Oh, turn your life around. Turn your life around. Oh, what are you waiting for? Turn your life around. Turn your life around. The world is waiting. What are you waiting for? Turn your life around. Yeah. Turn your life around. Turn your life around. Turn your life around.
Laura Berman this afternoon at 1:30. Yeah. Thank you, Laura.
I invite you to stay standing. I'm going to invite all of our practitioners. They're going to line up here in front of you. This is an amazing opportunity for you to not leave today and to turn your life around and to give them just a few minutes of your time so that they can do what is called an affirmative prayer, a treatment, a spiritual mind treatment to let you return home to your individuality. So you get to look at their beauty, and now I dismiss them as they're going to go upstairs. And if you want to avail yourself of that skill and that sacred time, then you can meet them upstairs afterwards. And I just want to say thank you. And let's conclude by singing our song, I am so
blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I
a great weekend, everybody.